Polyrhythms are a really great technique for adding interest and dynamics to your music. But what actually are polyrhythms? Well, I was under the impression that a polyrhythm is when two different time signatures are playing simultaneously. But actually, I was wrong. That is a polymeter, and that is what today's video is going to be all about. So let's dive into the world of polymeters. So I have a very simple sequence here. We've got 8 beats. We could count it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I've got a drum beat on the KO2 which is running at the same tempo. So we have 4/4 on the drums and 4/4 on the bass. If I was to change the length, the amount of notes in my bass line, then we would have two different lengths running at the same time. It's really easy to do this on the Oxi One and probably on any sequencer. But on the Oxi One we hit the end button and we can choose any of these notes to be the final note of the sequence. So let's pick this one here. So now we have 7 notes in this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. So these are both kind of looping at different rates now. And it will actually take, I think 28 steps before both sequences arrive back at 1 on the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. And we can start experimenting with different lengths. Let's try 5 instead of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it just keeps these sequences, instead of being really repetitious, they start to have a lot more character. Let's bring in a different sequence on sequencer 2. There are only 3 steps in this sequence. Hopefully you can see it's repeating after 3. And I'm going to come back to the bass line. This time I'm going to get a bit more granular instead of it repeating on the beat which we had here. Yeah, so this is 7. What I'm going to do is move it 1 step back. And we get a much more syncopated rhythm. I really like that. So even though we haven't changed any notes in the sequence, we're getting a much more kind of groovy and dynamic and slightly unusual rhythm happening. This is the concept that we're going to be exploring in today's video. Another way that we can utilize this idea of polyrhythms is within our drum beats. So I'm going to put down a classic 4 on the floor on the Drumbrute Impact. So this loop here is repeating every 16 steps and it is identical every single time. But if I was to bring in another element like the FM drum, Then we can utilize the polyrhythm feature, which we access by pressing Shift, polyrhythm, and then we can change the last step. So let's change the last step of the FM drum. Instead of being 16 to 15. Now we get a much more groovy pattern which doesn't change every single time. Let's bring in the cymbal. And I'll do the same thing with that. I'm going to change it to 11. Then I'll bring in the low tom finally. And I'll make the last step 14. And this really simple technique just makes the beat less repetitive. So yeah, that is polyrhythms within your drum beats. The Oxi One sequencer has a really unique take on polymeters when you use the Matriceal sequencer. The Matriceal sequencer has 4 independent sequencers, each have a grid of 16 steps, and there are various parameters that we can add to our sequence. The first one is trigger, so I'm just going to put down some random triggers here. And this is controlling plats. Let's change the note of our second trigger. So we now have a sequence which is looping perfectly in time with our drums. I'm going to add an octave change to our second note as well. But I'm going to change the length of the octave sequence so that it only lasts 5. So hopefully you can see this is only going for 5 now, but it's only affecting the octave change. Next I'm going to do the same thing with some glide. And I'm going to make the glide sequence last for 9 steps. So what we've got here really is a polymeter of parameters as opposed to a specific time signature. But we can also change our triggers. Let's maybe make this less. So we've now got a different rhythm happening each time, and I'm going to add in my second sequencer. And I'll add in some random octaves. And once again, I'm going to change the length of the octave sequence. Bring in some reverb. none of these patterns are repeating, and it can get so complex that you'll make something which will never repeat. The final parameter I want to show you here is one called interval. What this is going to do is move the notes of your sequence through your quantized scale. So I'm going to, let's pick this note here, and I'm going to turn it up by 2. Yeah, this is a really fun way to create just constantly evolving patterns. And when you ground it with a 4/4 beat like I've done with the KO2 here, then it really makes it more cohesive. And yeah, it's just a very nice technique. Next I want to demonstrate how we can use Pamela's Pro Workout to achieve this kind of similar technique, although I may at the end ask for some advice from any Pamela's aficionados out there. Basically I'm using a quantized sample and hold coming out of Pam's to sequence my oscillators. So let's have a listen to Platts here. And I've got the loop beats set to 8, so it's looping every 8 notes. I also have the Oscar Tria set to 8, so they're both looping within the same time signature. But let's change this, change Platts to 5. So we now have a really nice polyrhythm happening. Next I'm going to change the Oscar Tria, the bass line, from an 8-step sequence to a 6-step. 4/4 beat here, we have a really sort of constantly evolving sequence. Try change the bass line to 5 and then I'll change the melody. To 7. Really like this, the bass line with the drums. But yeah, the question I've got for any Pam users out there is, when I set the modifier to ×4, it seems to create 4 pulses for every beat of the loop beats. So it was really difficult to get a 7-step sequence when I had the modifier at ×4, and even setting the Euclidean trigs and the Euclidean steps to 7 didn't seem to override that. It always did 4 per step, so I've had to up the BPM to 300 on Pams to achieve this. So if anyone knows a workaround for that, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, really nice sounding patch, this one. This final patch, I'm using the LX Euclid from A to V to create a polyrhythm. The LX Euclid has 4 independent outputs. They all output gates, and they're all related to each other, but they can run at different rates or have different triggers per measure. I'm using the 4 gates here to trigger 4 envelopes, which are modulating 4 filters, which are processing 4 oscillators from the Vostok Sena. And if I open the filters all the way up, then you can hear that we kind of have a pretty ugly sounding chord. But as I move the filters down, which is allowing the gates to create the rhythm, we have this really nice interactive polyrhythm. And just to demonstrate some of the different rhythms we can get using this technique, there are some presets in here, so hit the config button and go to presets, and we can have a listen to some different kinds of rhythms. Really like this patch. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my exploration of polyrhythms, or more accurately polymeters, and I hope it's given you some ideas to try with your own compositions and your own patches. If you have enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and please leave a comment. And if you enjoy what I do and you would like to support my work, then I do have a Patreon account. I upload extra videos here as well as sample packs and preset packs. You can sign up to that for as little as £3 a month, and it really helps me out so much. I also have an online store. I have a couple of cassettes for sale. You can pick these up on my Bandcamp page. There's a link in the description and some affiliate links as well. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all again soon.